Okay, I'm going to get right into the details of this presentation, predominantly from Sam the Illusionist. This is as hardcore of a definition of what's coming, way, shape, and form as I think you're going to get anywhere. So get ready and pay attention, because you are potentially a target. Alright, here we go. So the way to read this in general is this left side is a column of kind of what's coming for third density humans that I spoke about in my last video. And I'll just, in case you missed it, it's these guys who are going to miss it. They're going to be picked apart and ushered to where they need to go because of everything that's coming unprecedentedly. So this is all this, and I'll tell you how we got here, but sort of the way this is going is the story's going to go one way, but because of what I know and kind of where we're really going, I'm going to be able to discuss that. And the provider of this information is included in here. Okay, so kind of this is the channeling that came from Sam. This is an image of what's, Sam's mouth speaking and what he said. Okay, so I'm going to explain that. So he received this channeling through this Council of Nine today, I guess 11 January, and it's about fourth density humans. So the angels were able to make a discernment out of the Akashic Records activation. So the way to interpret that is, I'm going to say 3 years ago, the timeline was such that, hey, we have something going on here. Now the level of fidelity for them to pull information out to help the humans in a way that's authorized, because they play by the rules, because we have to believe what's coming out of this man who's laying down on a couch, speaking in a different voice, and he's telling you, use your discernment. And I'm the Galactic Federation, but I'm really Sam. So start with that as what I'm going forward with, because I'm an open source guy, and this is a special person. I'll talk to him more about him in a minute. But this is what he said. Due to this activation of the Akash, where William found out he was Knights Templar, the guy playing this camera right now, I just been on my path. So nothing more to say about me. This message is all about the truth within. So the battle and the truth, and whether or not you're going to awaken to who you are. Are you in poverty? Do you know what your chakra are? Do you know that they're going to transform? Or are you going to mass and kneeling and praying, waiting for communion? Because then you don't know who you are. It's not a criticism of you, it's a criticism of the system that you live in that's going to bring you right back here. So, when Sam was speaking to us, the setup was that there are influenced people. We know that angels are extraterrestrials, and that we have elites on this earth that equal the Illuminati. How big of a number do you want for that? It's going to be a pretty decently sized number. I'd say it's easy to say the thousands. I mean, you're dealing with a big population. You've got all the systems of the world and the captains of industry and the ones that are just wanting to go this way. They want to be a part. This has been going on a long time. So there's reasonable suspicion by the ones that want to do it that they can pull this off. There's got to be, because there is. I mean, the mission is to drop us back down. So, I'm not taking that off the table if people fall apart. I'm not going to fall apart. So, and I know Sam's not going to fall apart. And I know she's not going to fall apart. And more than 35,000 Dolores Cannon followers aren't going to fall apart. So, but others are going to fall apart. See, we're in a very humbly elite, loving community of, hey, you can say I love you and put them heart symbols on your Facebook thing as a matter of yes, oh, by the way, that, and mean it. You know, when I do this to all these girls, you think I'm like, oh, I hope I can get a number. The only number I want is the one that increases the body count of love that we're going to win. And every time you get a female, I mean, they're half awake already. But, I mean, there are two. So, what's going to happen? It's all men. There'll be women, I guess, that are involved in this. Or transients of gender. That's replicating something. Baphomet. But, let's stay on topic. So we're dealing with hell on earth from Mars, only because that is where the center of gravity of all the negative energy is. The men in black go for their training there. The inner place of that planet is a sanctuary for Gotham City, meeting, hey, 3 hots and a cot, what are we doing today? I'm sure the ones that are there feel like they're in prison with a lot of extra stuff to do. Because they are. Because that's the relationship, if you want to describe it as that. Along with hijacked consciousness of snooping each other out and, hey, look, these guys they're exercised up. Okay? And I'm not going to mention Ashtar other than he is a being that will observe what's going on, and there's a galactic federation that he's a part of, and there's light. Case closed. So, what Sam said was that what's going to occur, this is so heavy, this is the heaviest part of this briefing. So the elite are checking out of Earth, and they're going up to Mars, and they are going to do, let me use the right words, they're going to exchange body complex for negative oriented being soul was the vernacular used and said in that rhythm. So you're talking about, at this case, they're exchanging their humanity. This is a bodily complex, is your human being. You're saying, I don't want to be human anymore. I don't want to have those angelically protected chakra. I want this. And what is this? This is, when you know what this is original, just first density, unbridled fire that is war and all the components of fear. Fear-based living is the essence of it. Because the opposite of love is fear. And we know that. You know, the typical Norman says, oh, it's hate. Okay, hate's a first cousin. But the fear is what is inside you as the receiver of the punishment. And then you're given any punishment because the buck rolls on, and however that goes, you shouldn't be punishing anybody. You only punish yourself, of course, when you do that. But it's all one big picture. So what's going to occur is these guys are swapping, and then I guess they're coming back by these former humans are coming back. And I don't know what their composition will be. Because if the intent is we want to kill humans and we want to scare humans and whatever we can matriculate in order to be the concussion, because if they die, see, their goal, I guess their goal is to kill every human in existence. You know, when you really look at it, it's creator suicide, which is human beings commit suicide because they're desperate, but you really don't die. See, so there's never going to be any death. You know, non-existence is not a factor in what I'm referring to right now, because there was consciousness then, and when there was light, and that's what I'm explaining to you. So just be light. All you have to be, have love and be light. Everything else will catch up. So these beings, however many are going up, are coming back. Context: Trump, Kushner, Third Temple. I got guys saying, oh, there's no way that there could be a third temple because he be in the book of Yababiba. Hey, come on. Trump and Cyrus were on a coin. Cyrus released the Jewish people to go build a second temple with embedded architects. And, you know, the architecture is important. It's a key to Masonic stuff. So Trump's a builder. He prides himself as a builder of stuff. And that's just who he is, how he fits into the mold of where we are right now. And, you know, I've always liked Donald Trump. He likes himself. It's not going to be all about him, but he wants it to be, and it hasn't been. I'm just explaining to you that in his heart, he knows that he's screwed up. So he probably is so shameful and so angry. And I mean Donald Trump, this person who's about to say, look, I need to go 10 times. How can I do that? Who do I need to talk to? And there'll be somebody for him to talk to. And it goes back here. And they're going back to transformative. Look, you want to do it, Shiva will give you the fleeting opportunity to do what you want. So then they're coming back. After that transformation of who knows what characters are coming back here. So you guys, between what you see on TV and what you see with your eyes open, when the alternative news, you know, Mr. MB333, you know, is having a heart attack because they're like running, ET's running at the camera. You know, it's going to be this level of madness and buffoonery and wanting to do blood luge. Walmart to FEMA to death camp, oh my. It's like and it's been told, the biometrics and the facial recognition. This was the angels that said it. Billy said it already. He tells everybody. You go in for your monthly thing, because denial of service, it's only going to be Walmart. They'll have skimpy coverage. So Alvin the Chipmunk needs to go buy his wood. And they got ya. Alvin, where's your card? Your COVID card? How'd you know? Well, you got a phone? Yep. Okay, come with me. Sergeant, take Alvin. So Alvin's got a problem. If Alvin doesn't know what's going on. I don't know why I even chose the name Alvin, but these beings are coming back. These are the top ones now. These are your elite. These are the masterminds of false flags. So you have your favorites. There are the stars. The stars, the right stars that you know, that you watch, are going to come back and just have the look of either whatever it's going to be. It's going to take you to the list. So please know about the falseness of the vibration, and that there's a 5G terror frequency that was demonstrated at Astro World as an example of just focused energy with some speakers. Now you take all those big towers, look around at the towers worldwide. Europe, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, your Five Eyes Western storyboards. The Chinese are going to play with your brains from Beijing with all five eyes spinning when they light up the 5G towers. If they're the ones that even need to pull the trigger, they probably paid some presidents to, Trudeau and all these other, these are the guys that are going in for their Batman soul swap, and then they're coming back as variations of humanity, having checked out their opportunity to be God. They said, we don't want to be you. And just so you guys know, I'm going to talk a lot about different things, but this is a good place to talk about it. In the Islamic faith, there's an angel with the name of Azazel. You may find him in the book of Enoch. I wouldn't be surprised if he was not included. So in his particular case, the story on Enoch that is told is that he refused to take a knee to Adam. Imaginarily speaking, like Adam's the human, and the angel just isn't playing in the rotation of like, hey, you're the human, so it's your turn to be admired and worshipped, and then I'll take my turn, and we'll pirouette forever, doing it, taking turns for each other, and inventing different ways to manage it. That'll be amazing for the one whose turn it is, or the one whose turn it isn't. And that's how I believe that it works. When you really get clarity of how we intelligently manage ourselves. Look at what we did. We chose the veil of forgetfulness, and I'm here explaining all this to you. Again, I was a political science guy, and I was an intel guy, and I'm giving you stuff that came from other sources. So what they're going to try and do when these elites do their soul swap, their Musk, you've got the intellectual varmints that are going up there saying, we're going back to the essence of our hate because we don't have time anymore. Thank you, Elon. You broke a few windshield. You launched your Tesla. They have had enough. They're just coming. They're coming. They know time is short. They know what's going on. They're watching, they're setting the thing up out of Sam's window to do the elemental disturbance. I got my dog going crazy when I do half my stuff, so they're out there. They know they're doing what they can. It's how they operate. You have to be fearless and laugh at it. So let's get some more detail on what's going on. What are they going after? This negative-oriented, these souls that just have hollowed eyes. This is like the headless horseman of just horror, nightmare, bring it, robots, whatever. So they're going after using rules and control. Again, hey, Tuesday, last name begins with such and such, you're in. Here's your punch card, here's your administration, and here are your rules that you'll obey because you're regulated and you're governed. So it's just going to be more of that, along with these protocols that people are sick of. More masks, and here comes Omicron, and you will do it because we want to be fixed. So you non-vaxxers that we can't get to, you need to fix just enough to. So at this point, they're mad because they can't get us to vax up. Because we know that we want to be able to, we can sneeze it out. I'm not going to say that everybody knows their God. They just know it's wrong, and they will not do it. When I talk to people and you sensitize them, they're like, no, they're just not doing it for the sake of not doing it, because they know it's stupid. Okay, you have your percentage that'll go, okay, I got to do it when you hear it. So they're all out there. They're all out there in the, we're going to go back to normal. Okay, that's an important thing to just understand, that the target audience that they're going after with this are these people who had a good Christmas, were feeling good. They, again, the analogy I used, they saw Trump come down the cartoon stairs ahead of time on The Simpsons, and they know that NASA comes out of the University of Colorado, Boulder, 420, with The Simpsons and all the cartoon stuff, and they professionalize that mind control on Boulder. What a great college. I've been there. ROTC program. Had my life to do over again. I might have been an astronaut at NASA. Just know too much. So what are they coming at us with? Because it's really not funny. People are going to die. They're supposed to die anyway. But we're talking about the ones doing this have said, I don't want to be human. I guess they must have had a chance, or this was meant to be. This must be meant to be, where they just have chosen this. So they want to kill God. That's what it boils down to. You're God, and they want to kill you. So if you don't hear those words, then don't be so blind to what you see in front of you. So how's God constructed? Well, God can be destabilized with the news and abnormal negative energy. It's forced by rules and control and the 440 beat of you will be disciplined and comply with what we need to do. So it gets down to your emotion. First of all, their target is the red ray, which means you still don't know who you are. You are poverty-stricken, and you have fear because you don't know. So fear means I don't know. I mean, they're like first cousins. So what's coming at us, I use this as this raw energy is Thothtless. Like when we missed it at Lemuria, Thoth was there with a mirror. This is just coming from Mars saying, bah, this is it. This is our role to get kinetic, because we still want to CERN it. We couldn't CERN it with CERN, so we want to CERN it this way on the surface with proximity managed. They're going for your nightmare here during the waking day, and the more you pay attention to it, you better be careful with the rabbit holes, because they've got them designed for your head. I've already seen it. So the guidance, you just don't pretend it doesn't exist. You have to be the creator admires the ones who are going, oh, I just can't wait to sleep tonight and have a good dream and live in their bubble of love. And if they meet others in the bubble, they're the bubble. They're the unburstable bubble of good, of hey, good cheer. Isn't it still Christmas? Isn't that an elongated season? Didn't we just have an epiphany? And now we're doing this. We're going back. So what's going to occur? Much to say. And I know I'm going to have to skip to another part pretty soon, but I'm going to keep this rolling and try and allow it to go naturally. So we're dealing with the third density refallen, let's call them. They had a good, good 2021. They made it through the masks. and they want to get back to 4 years ago, no questions asked. How could you not want to do that? Okay, they're the target. Therefore, they're the target. This is everybody. This is the rule of what's going to be available to target. Not the exception, because the exception are the first waivers, and the exceptions is like a small percentage of the planet right now that just is not going to be bothered either way. They care, of course they care, and they bring the love, but they just are not going to be obstructed from divine inheritance that's coming to us, the golden age. So this is the last micro hiccup from these. I feel so sad for these people that I think I know that are making this decision. It's just hatred of humans for whatever reason that is scripted up, and now they're coming with it. So name the names. I shouldn't have to name them for you, but you have these oddities that you may not know, like when the Taliban guys do the handshake with the Chinese in West China, and they look like they're from somewhere. You've got general level officer type military civilian equivalents, religious, that are commiserating in that part of the world, and I don't know who they are, but they're going here, and I'm going to talk about my favorite guy here before this is concluded. You can bet. So when they get done doing their little Nibiru up and back to come back down to earth, they're bringing everything they got. Everything we know that Mars might have had with stitched upgrades and, you name it, it is coming. At least they think it is. It's just not going to, it's not going to be a problem for me. So, but I know that if you're asleep spiritually, they got you. They know how to bust you down by the numbers. And this is the lower three here. Your heart's above this. This is your breathing. This is your emotional security. And this is your belonging to the planet and your sexual energy. If they debase this at a club, then they got you, because you just are thinking with the wrong organ and you're upside down. You know what I mean? It's just at that level of, we're not supposed to be thinking about that, only because it's just a time. It doesn't mean that this goes out of operation and there's never any children born again. It's just a time to go, uh-oh, I'm awake. I'm worried about the upper chakra. And we were told this. So you got to come out of the caveman mode or the debased woman mode. The guy who wants to rape because he can't get any, he's distorted. The guy that gets too much, doesn't care about women, he's distorted. The lady that, I don't think there's a such thing as a lady. If a lady wants it, she's going to get it. So it's a question of whether they get it too much. And then they think they want it a lot, and then they get distorted. And nobody wants them anymore. So they know how to do all this at the clubs, and Beyonce and J-Lo and whoa, Bathsheba coming at you through the Zuckerberg dark web. But I'm talking 90 days now. I'm talking near-term hits. Doesn't mean it's going to be over. I'm talking about intensity of, we got a shot. We need to use all the retarded tactics that we think we can muster, and speed and surprise are included, because how else are you gonna do it? It has to be, what? I wasn't expecting it, and everything's changing, and that destabilizes and terrorizes. So it's coming. Probably martial law. With it finally being declared. How soon after 15 January, I don't know. Whether or not this exchange right here, I'm going to say, may not have happened yet. If we're so near real time with what's occurring, by 15 January, all the Indy cars will be warmed up and tuned up, and the pace car will have done its job and everything else. So what I'm saying is, we're in the last, we're closing in on it. From a timing standpoint, this briefing is very important to understand. And we'll see how much of it, comes to pass, because we still control how it's another portion. A third part of this thing is going to be about our reaction to regular stuff, for the regular person who listens to this, who's not me. But this is what's coming. So it's the 440 rock, which is disciplined disorder. I think that was my call. Just think about the meaning of the words in astro world of a vibration. Go 5G towers all over the U.S. just putting out stuff to make you very sorry that you are outside and going, oh my God, what is this? I thought nuclear attacks were supposed to make a noise that was scary, but what is this doing to me? I'm not ready for this. What's this tingling going on in my body from all the aluminum and the crap that they've sprayed in the environment? These insectoids were trying to get me, and all they needed me to do was stick this stuff in me, and it put nanobots in me that are tracking me. I've just got them. I took the PCR test. They put nanobots in my body, and it's just a part of living, because you did it. So you're living with it right now. You could be watching this video and have nanoparticles in your body that are set to get excited when you're driving by an antenna someplace and you happen to be there, and they just want to take that part of the harvest with them. So what you need to do is get some hydroxychloroquine, but more importantly than that, breathe it out right here. You use this against them. You were given this breath right here to blow it all out of your system. So if you're not listening to me, that's okay. Then you go ahead and enjoy the 5G season coming ahead at all your stadiums worldwide. I talk way too much about America, my Aussies, my British, my New Zealanders, all my Western folk who are about to get their shit rocked. Enjoy your culture. Take some pictures. I'll be speaking about that. The people in the East, it seems like they got blitzed already. India and the terror that our Creator loves them way too much. So I think they kind of did their time. Don't ask me how plenty of them took their turn in the oven, and it's just the way it is. That's where they are out there. So it's just part of what we know. And for you who think they have a problem with their God vessel, this is how you blow it out. You have internal medicine. It's called this HumeriEL. You are the two snakes that you see on the medical symbol. That's your spine. And there is an angel, a twin-flamed angel that is kinetic. That is, you use the analogy of two becoming one. Two parents producing you. The love that you're cloaked with is seraphic to our Creator. Okay, those angels are dedicated to our Creator, the seraphim. And you have a seraphic heart if you're dedicated. So it's you. You're the protected treasure. You, the person listening, are the precious cargo that the angels protect, because you're God. So see yourself that way, and then be humble and be thankful that you are protected, because it's a team game. They protect you, and in bilocation, you're going to end up guarding and protecting, and it's a sensory, sentient system of feeling that has less to do with the body and the finger that I'm using to point. We're going to get to migrate that as we bilocate in our unity collective. That's over here. That's not this. I'm defining what's coming at us now. But to fix yourself from the vaccine problem, hydroxychloroquine, this, 432 music, just get sacred with your body and say, it really doesn't bother me. Now I'm really sick. It's going to go away. Your immune system's going to push it out. And they can't keep antagonizing you forever unless you are unaware of it. And now you're driving by the 5G station and you just allow it. Instead of blowing it out, and just by the angels helping you, remember, I just told you you've got Sir Raphael guarding you. So once you wake up and your pineal gland is decalcified and says, I am real, and I want this out, please, it is done with joy. And it'll go away because you're God. You asked for it, you got it. You didn't ask. Ask and you shall receive. These aren't my words. It's what we've been ordained to walk around wearing. It's our temple. It's sacred. It's the candelabra. It's us. It's the kundalini. It's us. It's us. It's you. You hear my voice. So what are they going after? They're going after your orange chakra. The 6th January. What happened there? My White House. The White House, that's not possible. How could that happen? The unthinkable. Our sacred shrines. It's like going to this, I'm not going to talk bad about the Statue of Liberty because of what they think it is or what it represents. It's liberty. But just imagine, like Planet of the Apes, banging on the Statue of Liberty. And don't discount it. Don't discount it because it's just coming. Everything's coming. I'll get down here. But let's stay up here. So sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, what's rock and roll? It's the 440, literally. But it's freaky music. It's hip-hop. I mean, they all trace to the destabilizing, debasing. It's one thing to happy hour, and it's one thing to take your hint, and nigga your hint, and your hint. What you doing, yeah, woman. Yo, what I call you? What you call me? We calling each other, and they just do it, 'cause it feels good, and they want to, and you ain't gonna complain. 'Cause they're allowed to. They're God. You bet it. They got their role. Do not exclude them. And Ozzy's going, well, let's go do a concert together and let's have lunch. I can't talk. I think I'm insane. And my wife says I'm insane. But apparently, I'm able to squirt out a few more. No, he's not. He didn't sing about Mr. Crowley because he believed in Santa Claus. And here's Mick. Mick was in the song with will.i.am and J-Lo, taking it to the technology. Y'all think you hip hopping away from your technology? Y'all got will.i.am. You got J-Lo bringing up her booty in the windshield. What's the name of that flick? will.i.am done did it. He done got in his bike and his car. He done took that Tesla right on the Reading. Then and J-Lo was hip hopping around Wikipedia with her, and then she went whoop right up to Mick. Mick. What a drag it is getting old. Mick, you heavy lipper. I wonder if Mick is going on the ride. Mick Jagger, come on. Could he, is he entitled? any of the stones. The Beatles. Who's going up here to come back on this raw beatdown of who's coming? These people are giving up their humanity. They're trading in. This is not funny. Humans are leaving. Angels are coming back. Angels of death are being released. That's what's happening. Humans are leaving. Angels are coming. God went away, and variations were chosen. That's what's happening. I'm explaining it in terms that are true. Talk about it as anti-human or anti-God. It's anti-Christ. And that's what's coming. At an elementary level of first density essence. So it isn't even like it's the flying trees. It's like, hey, we are just going to come down here and we're going to manifest this. So I am prepared to be eyes wide open wherever I happen to be. So let's continue down the list of, this was just sample. Jay-Z, J-Lo, Beyonce. I had to throw a woman in there. Well, J-Lo's a woman too. I think these are both girls. I'm going to say yes. She done is a girl, Beyonce. I always liked Beyonce. You know, her and Whitney Houston, she got murdered or what, you know, the drugs did her, but what precious choir ladies, young girls, so wide-eyed. You know, I'd love to see Beyonce go, what am I doing? I'm going to close down that church they made to me and open up my own Buddha temple, sit like Buddha, and show everybody how to pray to my Lord, who is just an equal to me. And Jay-Z, you done take your male shit and your schlong and go hit on. That's not fair, and I shouldn't be speaking like that about such noble people. So Nibiru could be back in the mix, speaking of fear and crossbones, just as an image of what's coming. It's imagery. Half of it is imagery. It's psyop. But it is real psyop. It isn't even TV psyop. It is jump out of your screen psyop, a force, because it's their final shot. They're going for your lower half, guys, just to measure your lower half. How do you feel about other people? Are you running for the hills? Could you, when 9/11 happened, were you the guy at the concert or trying to just, you know, you stamped over the body and watched it go by and you were just getting the hell out of there? Maybe you were pushed, maybe you weren't, but you were going. It was not about anything other than getting the hell out. Not necessarily your fault even, but you weren't prepared, so you're behind the power curve. You're supposed to be one step ahead. You know, God's supposed to be one step ahead. If you're reacting, you're an animal. You're an animal who got spooked by an unforeseen event, and now you don't know what the hell to do. Your house just fell down, the natural disaster happened, or they came at you and drug you someplace you didn't want to be. You don't know what to do. You're discombobulated and you don't know how to address people. You just obey the force that's coming at you, way, shape, and form. So these people that have done this, you know, it's coming at warp speed, as it has. Untested on animals, poisoned all around. CNN joined Fox to do it, and they're not done yet. They did it for a reason. People aren't dead yet, so we gotta expedite the problem as quickly as possible. The ones that got the vaccine could be okay. They may not. They might. They know that. They just want to put it all down, so anybody that they can exacerbate and kill, they will. That's what's coming. And there's a whole other piece I'm going to do on the relationship to the earth and natural disasters. That's coming, but that's not the essence of this. This is the war inside your body and outside your body to terminate your ass, one way or the other. It's two ways, inside or outside. And on the inside, if you're scared of what's coming at you, as it says in the good book, men's hearts will fail them at the, you mean, when the thing comes creeping out of the thing and it's like, real? Disproportionate form factors and functions, thought I was gonna die. And they do. It's like, it kills them. Like the news, for example, Nabal, the husband of Abigail, the news of David coming gave the man a heart attack. So the bad guy's heart attack out. The good people, if you got a bad heart, you're going to heart attack out. That's not the, they just want you dead. Because that's one more God man that's dead that hadn't been born yet. And I guess they figure if they could exterminate the entire species on the planet, that technically nothing could be born here ever again. I guess. I mean, if you want to look at it from a, we're scared of how the universe works, yoo-hoo, who knows what's been cut loose out there. All I know is that we're God, and we're protected, and we protect. When it's our turn to protect, we protect. Don't you protect, human being? When you have a wife and kids, when you have kids, don't you protect them? So get with the program. We have angels that protect us. We do the veil of forgetfulness. We don't know right from wrong. We have to learn. We have storyboards that are imposed on us and presidents that want to kill us. And although we were warned, we vote. They killed an innocent man in Jerusalem. And he walked the talk and he did it. So let's continue. So we discussed the lower vibes, astral world. I hit on that already. You're talking war. This is Mars. Mars equals war. Trump retreated from D.C. He had the fences are up, and it was Fort D.C. He saluted that flag and he MacArthured out. And under the rules of land warfare, that place is occupied by him. In his mind, it is. He was told it. The generals know it. The ones that need to know, the 2 or 3 that got the tools for the Ark of the Covenant. You got a Space Force that's guarding the White House. They got things set up already. And yet they're going to go do a swap out on Mars. So they're already set up. You got Biden, Biden is actually, he's only tripping on Air Force. He's actually, I think he's going up Air Force One. If that's the staircase he's tripping on after teasing Trump, they're all tripping, literally tripping all of a sudden. That's just a little news spoof that I saw. But the joke's going to be over when they make this rotation. This is not the cast of Saturday Night Live coming down to do the opening. This is madness. This is the scene that they dress up for, is the shit that you're going to be boomed with. Godzilla meets whatever they can put in a conscious, operational mode to just scare the living shit out of you and make you die. They're going to do it. Because if you're scared, you're not loving. And then you'll obey. You'll be so scared. All you have to do is then say yes. And then you'll obey. And that's what they want. They want you to obey or die. Simply. Don't you see it? Okay, good. So, Mars is war. Our Creator, we'll get to we'll get to truth, but what they want. They want sacrifice. They want the rendition. Blitzkrieg. They want kinetic destruction of everything as quick as they can. Just to wreck it. Enough of this. They can't do nukes, so it'll be kinetic. And if there is a tolerance threshold, that maybe they had a meeting on the council up here, they know, look, we don't do anything above, whatever the threshold was for Nagasaki and Hiroshima. We're not doing it anymore. We'll do 0.25 megatons. And then they let the Madams and the Saddams go, and guys got backpack nukes, which are as good as, and listen, they got the hypersonic missiles. You're talking about what the nations possess, as well as what the rogue guys that got it. They made the deal, they had the money, they got the pipeline and the drugs, and they got it for a rainy day. And then you have the Islamists radicalized, who got pushed through Turkey and Greece all over Europe, as I've mentioned before. So they're sitting they're not unified. They're not unified with their Western cohorts. It is a diabolically different culture. And it just comes with their, if you get inside their family meal, it's okay. There, if you make it, and everybody takes their stuff off, like they're normal as they could be. The man ain't taking no crap because he's been taught that, and the woman, what are you gonna say? She believes it, so she's gonna play. That's what the guy wants. That's what this whole system's about. The man just takes over the woman, defiles her, debases her. They don't do that in that faith. I'm too wise to make that statement, because that would be, in a way that's like racist, because now you're taking a stereotype and you know that it's really not true, because there's good, smart, wise, intelligent, loving variations of humanity walking around in air suits. You just got the guys who got too much negative, too much manhood, too much brutality, and they were born into the personality, but it's coming from their high self, because they've been chopping shit off for generations. That's what they like. That's what they gravitate towards. And that's what our Creator has allowed them to do. So they'll still get their chance. They'll still get their chance. And when it's over, it's over. Yogi Berra said it. It's going to be over in 90 years as to whether or not you want to be on this planet, period, as a human. From there, everything else is absolutely cleansed 90 years from now. As far as a telescope can look, it will be improved upon because of us and what's starting right now. So, to continue, our Creator wants mercy, not sacrifice. Which I said, no mercy. But we were told there'll be no mercy shown, no compassion. So now we'll get into some new stuff here. They're going to hit you with the biometrics, facial recognition, and your unwitting detection as a human is going to get you. We could have done it. We could have done it for the good guys and made some progress discerning what we perceive to be the enemy with biometrics. The FBI wouldn't do it, but they did it. The Chinese did it. They took biometrics a long time ago. They write all the software for it. There's a couple of guys left, and if you want to use the West as any level of copyrighted hope, let's just pretend for a minute that we were still fighting against the Chinese and we had a chance, and we wanted to use our biometric stuff to be the one step ahead. Hey, you can't come in because we got the special code that we can have recognize our shit, and we'll know about your stuff, and you won't know because we know. You got to buy our licenses if you're even going to play. We'll sign a treaty. Our ATM machines will work. But we've got this last little bit of stuff here that, if you do the math, there's a few dudes that came up with some stuff to allow it to work. Okay, let's pretend that happened. They got it. Whoop! Hillary gave it to them. Get it over. Get it over to China, please. Hurry. We got brains to burn down, and we're in a hurry, so please get it over there. What do you think? Your computer's not going to freak you out in a couple of months when it turns on 5G ready after Christmas? Man, that new phone, you want to be smoking and have your ear fall off. You wait till your hand can't even hold it. I don't know. They want compliance. They want you to play with the apps. So I'm just offering, contributing madness that's within the realm that's coming. So you got biometrics and you got the devices. They said that these baddies will have devices, and they're coming after your nano pieces that are in your bodies. So if you've been compliant with the program and you've been breathing in a bunch of chemtrails, I'm not excluding myself from whatever the hell's coming here. I blow it out. I dare myself to go walk through wherever I want to go, but I'm not stupid. I just don't have a mask on. And I know that there are elements that are put out there with these damn chemtrails. You just see it. You see when the line goes from one end of the sky to the other and the stuff ain't evaporating. Yellow! And I was told they're spraying silicone shit that tweaks. I mean, it just goes on and on about the damage you're trying to do. But I'm trying to refer that the bad guys they've got devices already that they operate with to be in unison, to bring shit in their version of unity. It's device oriented, externally device oriented. But in addition to that, they got the databases of the pharmacy of the stuff, and they got way more than you know that they're coming at you with. And these two things were called out. This isn't me just putting on my army hat saying, oh, I knew biometrics were important. This is the angels saying they got facial recognition and they're about to use it. So if you're listening to this from Europe or another country, you just know that wherever you go to get your goodies, if you haven't vaccinated, they want you, and they're going to find a way to isolate you and put you down quickly. Canada, England, India, Middle East, everybody is getting it. Italy, you're just getting it. Name a country, Philippines, China, they're all just getting it internally. It's just coming. Three Gorges, a plan to do it with these new occulted beings from Mars. Who knows if the leader of China's on that trip. Forget about it. The Red Dragon. You're talking about, in the Bible it talks about 3 planets being cast down. 1/3 of the stars in heaven. So this is them. Saturn, Mercury. Mercury's the speed of the IT. So that's what that is. Saturn is the command and control. I'll talk all about it. You see the cube. It's command and control. I think there's a way you can flatten this out and make it designed so that it does whatever, a hexagon or a form factor of, oh, that's what it is. You just turn it a couple of different ways, but it's in this rendition, the ones that the rabbis from Far Rockaway wear on their heads. It's this. It's the same black rock as Mecca. It's the Abraham chop chop. And if you're not wearing one of those in any form factor, you're a goyim. So they want you, they want you on a platter, like John the Baptist. So let's talk about the players here. I'm talking about, I was referring to money, but I'm just talking in this case about credit or their Earth systems that are all finite. You know, it's not eternity, it's not heaven. There's systems that you can reach out and touch. And they come with these illusions of power and madness that I'm trying to explain to you, because it's the Satan mindset, the one that Jesus said, hey, you guys don't know our Father. You know, here he is talking to them. Remember who he is. And because he said, if you knew the Father, then you'd know me, and vice versa. But you don't. Like, that core level of occupation doesn't exist. And he identified then another being. Your father's Satan. You know, he's always been a liar and a murderer. Like, there's never been he did the first murder. Whenever that happened, it's like, that was it. You tell your story the way you want. The murder was there from his lips in that second temple. So take it back as far as you need to go. Knowing everything you know about Maldek and everything else. It's just murder. And it's regulated from Saturn. But in this case, it's the ones from Mars that are coming. They were part of the Mars-Maldek coalition. And many of those angels, you know, they're Elohim now. But you got to go with the book of Enoch and look at the crazy characters that came and taught how to do makeup and how to do stuff. And what do you learn in that book of Enoch? Come on, if the Bible points to the guy, even the religious Bible toters will say, oh yeah, Enoch, gotta read that, it means something. All the guys that know the Hebrew stuff will vibe up with Enoch. Enoch ain't Aramaic. Enoch says no forgiveness. Hey, Enoch might have been onto something, because they're bringing it on themselves. They're bringing it on themselves. So you cannot say that the Creator is not forgiving. Because I'm the Creator. I'm the Creator's rep right now. And if they'll just relax, we'll give them a hug. I talk about waterboarding all the time. Man, oh man, I'm not backing off of that. And now what's coming at us is psycho. So rhyme and reason are kind of off the table for 90 days as far as fixing anything. This window is a little more, I guess, evasion. You know, you sort of stay out of the way, you use your wisdom, innocent as a dove, wise as a serpent, and then you negotiate through all this with the love in your heart, knowing that you are protected. If you wish to be protected in this window, and you know who you are, you will be protected. There's no reason not to believe that. And death is a lie anyway. So go to your final moment with a smile on your face. If it's the tidal wave, or the hurricane, or the I couldn't believe they're doing this to me, you have love in your heart. That's all that matters, because it won't discontinue then. So, let's get back here. You know, these are main guys. You can call them out by name. You've got Musk, who's the Tesla imitation. He's from Mars. This is Soul Tapestry that's been called out by Sam the Illusionist. And he's a very intellectual guy on Mars. In his predecessory existence, he came to Earth, and he's literally performing this role now of bringing it as a fake. I want to do bad things to humanity and hijack them artificially inside with nano and everything else, because I think I'm very smart, and we can't really beat the computers anyway, so let's just join them. So that's Elon. He's been negotiating, running scared, and he's probably, you know, I'm just saying that he's with the program. Whether he's going to come back in some other form, I don't know. What is this man going to come back looking like? I have no idea. I just know that when they make their loop, you'll see something at the third temple that will be mind-boggling in terms of real, non-animated, non-photoshopped. Holy crap. I think the piece is okay, and somebody sitting at the throne to take on the peace thing. It's not going to be JFK Jr., because the Kennedy family's not stupid, okay? He put George on the magazine, JFK Jr., Bush, so they know what's going on. Would JFK Jr. be on to Trump if the plane was called off, and that's a secret part of something that Trump somehow could get credit for? That's possible. Let's hope so. Let's hope that Trump gets on TV on the 15th and says, look, there's something crazy going on Mars. I wish I would have done my life differently. I got to get the hell out of here. I'm going into hiding like Julian Assange. And when this smoke clears, please forgive me. Out. What are you going to do? Donald, come back. We're ready to vote. He finally told the truth. But he won't. He presided over warp speed. He was Mr. Playboy. He's the Playboy guy. And Kirsten W's dead. So that's been facilitated as a mark for him to exploit. And who knows, I don't watch the news as to how that thing's going, but it's occulted. Simply, Charlie Ward's in the middle of that. So you have these clowns. Go with these clowns. How many of them are going for their switch? These guys going quantum. They probably don't really like themselves anyway. So when they go up here, they're saying, what the hell? And they're coming back. The captains of industry, way, shape, and form. They are coming back with no mercy. And it's coming. This is not a joke. You've got the CERN, which I think is out of play. It's too late to make this work. To blowing up humanity with a kinetic shot out of this, I don't think that it can happen now, because too many good things have occurred, and we have councils of planets that just make sure that they've had their time with CERN to mess with Earth. I'm going to speak to that in a separate presentation. So up at the upper piece there is Zion, right? That's the supposed Israel, but it's really not. They were released with Cyrus to build a second temple, and Caiaphas was presiding in the second temple. A fake Solomonic, we have a right to take ownership of a part of the story, which they did. Have they not? Feel sorry for us while we run everything out of the United States with our yarmulkes, and you're made to like them, and you do. Got a lot of friends who are of that culture, but they have an element embedded within the religion where you can take a reptile meat suit ride, and if you took one a long time ago, there's seats out on Far Rockaway that trace way back to who knows where to take your turn. And it's not a turn, they repeat it. They are the these are the guys. They're clinging together as an organization. Netanyahu, his counterpart, their Secretary of Defense, the big guy that came and shook Biden's hand or whatever. These are the guys, the Zionists, who did 9/11, the buildings. They did the work for DeSantis. DeSantis is a Zionist. He stood around the rabbis, and those buildings got dropped in Miami. Those aren't coincidences. Okay? 9/11 was the Zionists. Al Jazeera in Gaza, who are the 23andMe, Semites that are going to be oppressed with the peace deal. Al Jazeera got the buildings dropped on them. They're like the Islamic Peace Organization, and it's funny the way it divides up with Qatar liking them, and their relationship is to kingship and who they're tied to. And I'm not going to dissect the Arab world. I'll speak to it though. They're from Abraham, and whether you go either of the two sides of the Arabic coin, Shiite or Sunni, they both agree that Americans are a problem, and they try and fix the problem. At the heart of it, we know that underneath, for example, Iranians, please, don't we want to go there and drink tea and vice versa and cut all this shit out? Because we will. We're going to. I want to go there. We will. I'm going to do that. I can't do it right now because it's madness. Because the Yazd corridor that has the precious Aryan history in it is just a part of Fabian Club. So you don't know if you're going to get snatched up and thrown in prison for whatever reason because you were some bishop that just was on a hiking trip. That's like COVID. All this shit needs to go away with these effed up governments that don't know what they're doing to human beings who want to go for hikes. I'm serious about this too. This is going to be fixed. It will be fixed because we know what life is supposed to be like. Not hard. These are your players. So this is Mahmoud al-Sisi. Nostradamus called him out. They painted Kushner's picture in a book. Al-Sisi was described in the book. And Zuckerberg doesn't count. He's just a techno weirdo. I haven't read all of Michael Nostradamus' works, other than we all know what he said about the trumpet. Concealing the madness. Right here. That man from way back in time said that about him. The trumpet concealing the madness. Event 201. Warp speed. Not even tested on animals. He doesn't care. You hearing him saying, I wish we could have tested it on some chimpanzees. Donald Trump used to be a chimpanzee. He experienced second density awareness as a chimpanzee on Mars. And he's not coming back here as a chimp, to my knowledge. Who knows what he will, if he makes the loop, I don't know what he's returning as. Alright, so this man al-Sisi has the keys to Egypt. He's got the keys to kinetic energy through the Arab world, Islamic world, and Europe. And he can go kinetic. And he can turn Rome into dust. And they want to see that happen. It's so sick. The inner fabric of this, we'll talk about these. They use these god names of, I don't recall, but Rome, that they just want to bring destruction to the, this is Barabbas, who wants the Rome, the state Rome part, to be destroyed. It's just destruction of a mindset. And because of that reverberation, al-Sisi will go after Rome for strategic reasons of stunning. When to go kinetic, everybody's stunned. So the cabal, whatever the hell's remaining around here, won't know how to handle it. And he'll get all the energy from it. So he is still viable, given what's coming out of Mars. If he takes his due diligence, this is the man that stopped the Ever Given, that got the money, etc., etc. So it's going to be madness. And, you know, if you want to observe alternative stuff, watch where Kim Goguen goes, the female. Kim Goguen, Goguen. She's still in my camp of the women are taking the lead from this madness once it gets over. This is all finite. It's going to begin and end and be done. And the sorrow is for whatever the humans that dehumanized and became something else are just missed. They went beyond. When you dumped out of this human collective, I can't fathom that being the most ill-gotten decision that I you know, I mean, how could they do that? Why would you do it if you knew better? They mustn't have known better, or there's only so many